Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 8 of TSE. This is, of course, the Pennsylvania sensation Greg Cherry, and we got your questions again. And last week I looked in the comments and said that there was a lack of Aaron's cat in the video, so I'm going to show you my cat, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Fluffity. Fluffity. All right, Fluff, you're good. Anyway, oh, okay, thanks. Anyway, we'll get into the questions, and got a lot of questions from one person and another from someone on Instagram, so I'll do the Instagram questions first. Or question, I guess. This one is from Braden Holochek, at Braden J. Holochek on Instagram. His question is, what do you want to see on this year's Summerslam card? Keep up the good work, always like your deep thinking and logic. Well, thank you very much. For SummerSlam, I would like to see the Universal Championship already off Brock Lesnar, or him losing the title at SummerSlam. He does not need to keep it through WrestleMania. He does not need to lose it to Roman Reigns. If that's what they're building towards, it's going to be a dreadful year of booking, because that's all it's going to lead towards. Now, hi, baby kitty. I would like to see Finn Balor be chasing the Universal Championship. I would like to see him do the Demon character again, which I don't know why it wasn't Extreme Rules, but I guess he took the loss, so that's probably why. So maybe Finn and Bray can bring the Demon back, and he can go from there. As far as other things I'd like to see, I'd just like to see all the championships featured on the show. I don't want to see, like it was for WrestleMania, the SmackDown Tag Team Championships get jobbed, for lack of a better term, and not be featured on the card. I mean, it's going to be a 4-hour show, so you figure you have to get all the championship matches, even if it's on the pre-show. You get the matches on the card, because this is their summertime WrestleMania, essentially. SummerSlam is, or Summerfest, for those of you who remember that. There's nothing in particular that I'd like to see, because SummerSlam sometimes feels like it's just a halfway point between... It seems like it's where storylines get started for WrestleMania. It's not a throwaway show, and it hasn't been. I mean, the last couple years have been okay, but... I don't know. It's hard to predict, especially because we don't know what injuries might happen. We don't know who's going to be returning. We don't know if Strowman's going to be available for SummerSlam. It's really hard to predict. I mean, I would like to see, if Lesnar's still champion, Strowman and Lesnar, when Strowman takes the championship from him. Other than that, I don't really have... I just look forward to the card as is and just hope it's a good show. And these next several questions are from my good buddy, Travis Neri, at TFame on Twitter. Follow him. He's a funny dude. His first question, where the hell is Tye Dillinger? Well, the perfect 10. I don't know. I don't know why he's not being featured. I mean, he was wildly popular in NXT, so what you do, you bring him up to SmackDown, put him in a feud against Aiden English, and then don't use him again, because he's not going to be used for the Money in the Bank card. I mean... If nothing else, you could have thrown him in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Made people believe that, hey, maybe Dillinger could win, even though he probably wouldn't. But, I mean, the Money in the Bank match, as is stacked to the rafters. But Dillinger, I think, should have a decent feud built up for SummerSlam. Maybe he'll challenge Kevin Owens at SummerSlam. Maybe that's what they're leading towards. Maybe a big mid-card push for Dillinger. But as of right now, he's not being utilized, and perhaps they're saving him for something bigger, or they don't have anything for him, which is ridiculous, because he is wildly over with the crowd. I just hope he doesn't get the Zack Ryder treatment and gets shoved down the card. It's like, okay, this guy's popular, okay, we want him to stop chanting 10 at every count. But it's like, don't try and control the fans. I mean, that's one thing that the WWE tries to do, is control the fans' reactions. And we saw how well that worked out with Roman Reigns the night after WrestleMania, didn't we? His next question is, who are the top 10 ECW wrestlers of all time? Back to 10. he listed his, and I'm going to list mine. I didn't include the Dudleys. I'm just including singles competitors. And mine might be a little different as far as... If you talk about ECW Legacy, this list would be different, but if you're talking wrestlers and what they accomplished, in no particular order, I didn't rank them. Tommy Dreamer, The Sandman, Raven, Rob Van Dam, Sabu. I really should have included Rhino in here, because Rhino was a beast from when he debuted in ECW till the end of the brand. So, I will put Rhino in here. Franchise Shane Douglas, Taz. And I'm going to also say, I have Chris Benoit, but he wasn't in ECW very long. But I have Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero. I mean, they have an all-time classic traditional wrestling match in ECW. So, for that reason alone, I was going to include Mysterio, but again, he wasn't in there very long either. Favorite wrestling video game of all time and why? Aaron can attest to this. WWF No Mercy for the Nintendo 64. All-time classic. Still holds up to this day. Still challenging. I would say the current WWE 2K series, but my problem is ever since 2K took over, they took custom music out of the game, which really ridiculously hinders the create a superstar process. Because it's like, oh yeah, we're creating like guys from TNA, guys from ROH, guys from New Japan, all the indie promotions. Yeah, we're creating all these guys. I'm creating myself. And then you give them generic themes. See, now I want to say this. I don't know if anybody from WWE 2K watches. If you watch the show and you think this is a good idea, tag WWE Games on Twitter. I think that they should make you start an NXT with like a generic theme. And then once you get to a certain level of popularity, you get to choose your own theme. Perhaps, something else that's in the game or your own custom theme. But I think you should start out with a generic theme because nobody debuts with like, Enter Sandman by Metallica. I mean, Sandman, obviously, but nobody enters to like... I don't know. Give me a song name out there. Give me a popular song. Nobody enters to that upon their WWE debut, unless they're already well established out there. I mean, you figure Owens and Nakamura and Sami Zayn, they all had themes made by WWE music. Perhaps they create some custom themes for the game, and some of the custom themes, I think they need to change. They need to update those. And create some more custom themes that could potentially be awesome for the game. And then allow you to make your own custom music, put that in the game, and then use it once you're at a certain level of popularity. Like once you're out of NXT, like once you win your first championship on WWE, something like that. That way it's a little more realistic, where you can change your themes, and you don't get to... And maybe spend some sort of in-game cash to change your theme so you're not changing it on a weekly basis. Because let's face it, in WWE that doesn't happen. You don't change your themes every couple weeks and then expect people to know who's coming out. You can't come out to a generic song one week and then a rock song with lyrics the next week and then some other theme the next week is what's the gimmick? Why are you coming out to different music? How are we supposed to know who you are? It can work on the indies because nobody really pays attention. Unless you have a gimmick that's associated with a song. That's another video game rant. But No Mercy, going back to that, I mean, the gameplay still holds up. The storylines still hold up. It's still a lot of fun to play. And when Aaron was here in Pennsylvania for Backlash, I basically own that game. So he can attest to it. But No Mercy is definitely my favorite of all time. Who do you think the next NXT champion will be? Well, Bobby Roode is doing a fantastic job. I'm sure they're building up to Brooklyn being Bobby Roode against Roderick Strong, which Roddy could potentially pull it out. But I don't think they're going to put the title on Strong just yet. I think they'll put the title... I'm saying perhaps around Survivor Series time frame, maybe the Royal Rumble, or maybe Rude holds it all the way till next year's WrestleMania. That I think the next NXT champion will be Drew McIntyre. They would have to build him up and actually use him on the takeover shows, which there's been the Chicago one, which he wasn't even on, which is kind of insane because they showed him in the crowd. Well, I guess they didn't use Rude for NXT the end. Anyway, I think Drew McIntyre is going to be the next NXT champion. Worst booked wrestler of 2017. If I haven't said this on numerous No DQ shows, I will say it again. And that is, it's Bayley. It's Bayley. And you know what? The fact that she wasn't on Raw doesn't really hurt her character because, quite frankly, at this point, nothing could hurt her character more than the booking that has bestowed her. She has been absolutely atrociously booked. Which I've said again and again is sad because she put on my favorite women's match of all time with Sasha Banks. And I read some columnist that, like, detests Sasha Banks for whatever reason. It's like, what are you watching? It's like, do you not realize that, like, technical wrestling in front of you? But to each their own. Bayley has been... Yeah, when she debuted the night after SummerSlam, I just had a really bad feeling. It's like, Bayley's not going to be booked that well. Like, I don't know if it would translate to the WWE main stage. And it doesn't. It does not. And I don't know if it is her gimmick, if she needs like some sort of change, or if she just needs better writers. Heavy possibility. But my gosh, she should not talk. She should not talk at all. She should just be, if she's going to be happy-go-lucky, she should be happy-go-lucky and not say a word. Because she cannot cut a promo to save her freaking life. But, and I will say this again and again and again and again and again until I'm blue in the face. As blue as this flag right back here. Dark freaking navy blue. Bayley needs an edge. She needs something to her character where she could potentially like go nuts and attack people and be mad. Without that, she's just happy-go-lucky. And in the way this weird world is, see, Bayley's gimmick would have worked 25 years ago in WWE and been over if women's wrestling was even a thing 25 years ago. Like women's wrestling now 25 years ago. If that would have been a good way to do things. But it doesn't work now because the world is a weird, weird place. I mean, people cheer the heels, they boo the faces. You know, good is evil, evil is good. People's minds are all messed up, and people cheer whoever they want. A traditional, all-American, smiley baby face works about as well in 2017 as it did in 1997. And I said that Bayley is worse right now than Rocky Maivia. There might be die Bayley die chants that turn her heel and turn her into this mega superstar. Or WWE booking will be like, nope, we're just going to be stubborn and we're going to keep this until it's dead. I bet the latter. And his last thing was if I wanted to make a prop bet on the next inanimate object to be featured in a storyline, such as Jericho's List, Al Snow's head, or Moppy from Perry Saturn. Well, I'll tell you what, Fame. We can make that bet. You can watch this and tweet something at me, at PA Sensation, of course. And we can make this a little more interesting, because he and I are both big fans of How I Met Your Mother, so I want to make a slap bet with Travis Fame. And, of course, the loser gets slapped, and I'll film it for this if it's me. I want to say, and this does not include any traditional weapons, like kendo sticks, chairs, tables, ladders, any of that. That doesn't really count. Because if you're building towards a match, that's fine. But if you're just gonna introduce something as a character to be fond of. This is very hard. It makes me wonder what could be a part of somebody's gimmick that truly, truly stands out. I'm going to say, for no apparent reason, I'm going to say a laptop computer. Just throwing it out there. I don't know why. I think maybe Titus O'Neil could use it and help his Titus brand by trying to search for more people online. I don't know. Perhaps. That's it for this week's episode of TSE. Don't forget to send in more questions. Money in the Bank is what? Next Sunday, so I won't do best Money in the Bank ladder matches. Just send in more questions. I'm going to keep doing Q&A shows until I think of more topics. If I don't use your question on one show, I'll use it on the next. Just keep sending those in. Keep watching the show. Enjoy them. For myself and, of course, Mr. Fluffity. This is the Pennsylvanian Thanks, Fluff. This is the Pennsylvanian sensation, Greg Cherry, saying, keep it sensational and keep it here on No DQ.